Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Beenleigh Arena. Today, Saturday the 10th of April. My name is John DeMacaulay, and it's an honour and a pleasure to be your MC for this evening. On behalf of Paul DeMacaulay and all at Prophecy Promotions, we welcome you here tonight to Eruption number 7, Australia versus New Zealand. 10 amazing Muay Thai bouts coming your way this evening. Just some of the fights you'll see is the Queensland state title will be on the line between Kraaymaat and Mark Lucchiari. Ladies and gentlemen, then our 4 fights. Team New Zealand take on Team Australia. From Team New Zealand, Stephen Anderson, Joey, Edwin, Samy, and Big Paulie. And representing Team Australia, Stevie Richards, the official, Jamie Stamp, Frankie Sebastian, and Cedric NTG. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one night of Muay Thai that you do not want to miss, Queensland. Once again, my name is John DeMacaulay, and from Paul DeMacaulay and all at Prophecy Promotion, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime! Fight number 1. Steve Carter takes on Ladies and gentlemen, Prophecy Promotions welcomes you to bout number 1 of the evening. This fight is proudly brought to you by Network Video and be fought under modified Muay Thai rules. 100 kilo plus weight division. 3 by 2-minute rounds. Your referee in charge, Mr. Rex Redden. Firstly, to my left in the blue corner, trained by Phil Renata at Team Ngāpuhi in Toowoomba. Last night of the weigh-in, he came in at 105.8 kilograms. He hails from Toowoomba, wearing blue tie shorts with gold tie writing. Record of 3 fights for 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve the Bulldozer Carter. And now to my right in the red corner, trained by Richard Walsh at the Urban Fight Gym. Last night of the weigh-in, he came in at 105 kilograms even. He hails from Benoa, wearing blue shorts with punish emblazoned across the front. He's making his Muay Thai debut. Ladies and gentlemen, Little John. Fires the centering.
Johnny, Little John versus Steve the Bulldozer Carter.
Want a good clean fight? If I say break, break. Otherwise step back, keep your hands up at all time and come out fighting. Let's go.
Rexy, the rumble redden there in centering, mate, being absolutely towered over by these 2 boys. But Little John very well put together at 105 kilos. Rexy already. The boys are looking to get it going before the bell goes off there, Johnny. But I tell you what, this one, mate, it's got the heavyweights to start the night and the heavyweights to finish the night. So this will be interesting to see how Little John goes making his debut here tonight.
Yeah, Rumble Rex Redden will have his work cut out for him, trying to separate these 2 big boys in centre ring. As Little John unloads with a nice teep and now following up short punches over there in the blue corner.
you can already see both boys, Little John making his debut and Steve the Bulldozer Cutter. Both boys are, fairly much novices to the ring, but both boys keeping a very high and very tight guard, which is good to see.
And as mentioned, this fight proudly brought to us by Network Video.
Yeah, great sponsors on board with Paul DeMacole. He's got a great team of sponsors behind him, and thanks them for their support all the time.
Already a huge welt appearing on the rib cage of Steve the Bulldozer Carter. On that left rib cage, Johnny.
And tell you what, Little John just continually walking forward at the moment, making his debut. The Bulldozers had 4 fights, 3 fights and a draw, so it's unusual to see a guy making his debut being on the front foot so much in his first fight. It's good to see both boys just keeping a good high guard. Looks like a bit of a low kick there. Bulldozer grimaced a little bit, they're not sure they're caught a little bit low. Good looping left hand there, they're just using the angle of the Bulldozer. Tell you what, man, these big boys there locked up there in the neutral corner. Tell you what, if they unload and get some of these kicks in, and some good strong knees there from Little John.
Yeah, Little John just continually pushing forward. Bulldozer Carter just
not sure. Rex hasn't called a timeout there, or hasn't put a count on there, so not sure what. He's just he's letting Steve the Bulldozer Carter just get his breath back. But I said he hasn't called a timeout or put a count on there. Yeah, just saying to Little John just to watch his knees there. So probably should have called a timeout on that one. But back in centre ring, and the Bulldozer putting his hands out to touch gloves, and Little John having nothing to do with it. So when you've got a 105 kilo boy walking across the ring at you with punish written across the front of his shorts,
That's
you've
the
got to
end
be
of
worried.
round number 1.
I'll lock that
This
round
fight
away
proudly
to
sponsored
Little
by
John.
Network Video. Round 2.
I said very impressed with the physique of Little John at 105 kilos as well. But take nothing away from the Bulldozer, trained by Phil Renata. Phil Renata's been around for a long, long time, producing great fighters, the Warren brothers out of Toowoomba there.
Just a slip there over in the red corner by the Bulldozer as Little John continues to push forward.
It's interesting, the fight names of these boys, Little John. We don't know what Little John's surname is, but I know Nugget's got a fighter they call Little B, who's just a little lightweight, and then we've got Little John at 105 kilos. Slight ranking there from Little John. Good tight guards from both boys. You know, the basics in centering there, Johnny. Both boys keeping a good tight guard.
Another slapping low kick there from Little John.
Yeah, good countering there from the Bulldozer. Fighting out of Southpaw stance. Good to see him using the angles. He just has Little John's walking forward. He's looping around to his left and using the left. Good teep there from the Bulldozer as well.
Yeah, that's a bit of work from the Bulldozer. Little John just hasn't given him a chance to put any combinations together of any sort. I think the Bulldozer's just been consigned to single shots at this stage.
Again, interesting to see the Bulldozer just put his hands out there just to acknowledge something there with Little John. Little John having nothing to do with that, but he just wants to get it on in centre ring.
Yeah, nice left jab from the Bulldozer, straight through the guard of Little John.
Big right hand there from Little John over there in the corner. Looks like he's Steve the Bulldozer Carter's lost his mouth cut there. Rumble there, Tristan just putting it back in his mouth. Again, you can see there the Bulldozer just putting his hand out there, but Little John wants nothing to do with the gratuities there in centre ring. So a couple of times it looks like their Bulldozer's almost thrown an elbow in close, but I think he's realising that that's modified tyre, so they're not allowed to throw the elbows. But I'll tell you what, I think he's looking forward to using them in his fight career. Another good second round there from both boys, and
that's the end of round number 2. Little John, Steve Carter.
And Johnny, got to be impressed. Paul DeMacole, mate, the ring girls that he's got up here in Queensland, and the V dancing team he's got coming up later on. I tell you what, mate, they breed them very well up here in Queensland.
The third.
Well, I'll reserve my comments other than to say that Paul DeMacole and Prophecy Promotions just putting on a very professional show here this evening in terms of setup and the trimmings that go with it, Johnny, as Little John continues to work the knees there in the clinch over in the blue corner.
It's not all about what happens in centre ring, John. You've got to keep the crowd entertained outside the ring as well, and Paul's done a great job. But again, big thanks to Network Video for getting behind this first bout of the night. You'll see it later on tonight. And Johnny, this show also, fightbet.com.au, been able to place bets on all these fights, and Paul Demicoli taking it to the next step as well. Even on Twitter, you can keep updated with Paul Demicoli and Prophecy Promotions on Twitter.
Well, if I was a betting man, I would have, if I'd backed the Little John, I'd be pretty happy at the moment, because he just continues to push forward. Really not letting the Bulldozers settle into any rhythm whatsoever. Here we are in probably halfway through the third and final round, and Little John continues on the offence, but keeping a nice tight guard at the same time, Johnny. He's fought a very technical fight.
Yeah, he has. And look, quite a few times we've seen Steve Carter use the teep to his advantage.
40 seconds remaining in the final round.
All the time. Use that teep to keep him away. You can see there he's up against the ropes, he's trying to get it up. But now as he's coming forward, use the teep to keep him away. Yeah. Exactly, there you go there. And it's put Little John on the back foot. That's what he needs to do, give himself a bit of space.
Yeah, well, it's good to see that the Bulldozer heard you, Johnny.
I'm not sure he's listening to me, but I'm sure he's listening to Phil Renard and the boys in the corner. But, they're the sort of things you've got to learn from this. And look, he'll sit back at the end of the day and watch this fight, and he'll take it into his next fight, and these are the things that you learn by. You can see Rexy Redden encouraging the boys there in the centre ring, dying moments in this third and final round.
Yeah, good left hook from the Bulldozer on the back foot.
That's the end of the round.
Unfortunately, I think this fight...
Steve Carter, Little John.
Little John.
We go to the judges' scorecards.
But
Can
again,
please have a
Network Video
representative
first
of
fight of the
Network
night. We'll go to the
Video
judges'
to
decision.
centre ring. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of Muay Thai action, the judges have made their decision. Your winner, unanimous points, red corner, Little John.
And a very happy Little John there in the centre ring, taking out the first bout of the night on the Eruption VII.
We thank our great sponsors from Network Video and Ormo. Fight number 2, Brendan Punman takes on Greg S.S. Striker.
Very well put together, Brendan Punman from Jason Walker's Miami Fight Centre. Jason Walker, the ex-Victorian up here in Queensland, showing the Queenslanders how it's all done.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to bout number 2 of the evening. This fight proudly brought to you by Property All-Stars. It'll be fought under modified Muay Thai rules. Knees to the head, no elbows. 78 kilo weight division, 3 by 2 minute rounds. Your referee in charge, Mr. Rex Redden. Firstly to my left, in the blue corner, trained by Jason Hawker at the Miami Fight Centre. Last night of the weigh-in, he came in at 78.7 kilograms. He hails from Palm Beach, wearing black tie shorts with red writing. Fight record of 5 fights, 3 wins. Ladies and gentlemen, Brendan Punman. And to my right, in the red corner, trained by Mark Pease at the Strikeforce Gym. Last night of the weigh-in, he came in at 78.2 kilograms. He hails from Southport, wearing white tie shorts with black writing. Has a perfect fight record, 2 fights, 2 wins. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg S. SS Striker.
Here we go, Johnny. Property All-Stars, a big thank you to them for sponsoring this second fight of the night. 78 kilo modified tyre rules, 3 2-minute rounds. Brendan Punman taking on Greg SS Striker, and I tell you what, made a very intense Mark Peace in the corner there.
Yeah, well, Mark Peace, Johnny, almost unrecognisable without his Liverpool shirt on underneath the Strike Force vest. Either it's in the wash or something's happened, but I doubt Mark Peace has changed allegiance to his soccer team. But Mark Peace, one of the most experienced trainers in the country. Boys from the Strike Force gym, always very well put together and ready to fight.
Yeah, let's not take anything away from Brendan Pullman and Jason Hawker, Jim, the Miami Fight Centre. Jason Hawker bringing through the guys like Danny Maceachern in his early old days. But I tell you what, first round here, Johnny, both boys really loading up on absolutely everything. 3 2-minute rounds doesn't give you a lot of time to settle in. But I was going to say Greg Striker particularly opening up some really vicious leg kicks there. So 2 fights, 2 wins. Brendan's had 5 fights for 3 wins.
Experience going the way of Brendan, but
I thought he's got a good height and reach advantage. So very, very slick with his hand, Brendan.
yeah, good combination there from Brendan.
Slapping leg kick there from Brendan, not checked at all. So what these boys, they want to start checking those kicks, and the striker just unleashes his own strikes on the leg kicks. And tell you what, he's loading up with those kicks on the lead leg of Brendan Pullman. You want to start checking those. So looking to lead with the jab again. Another big round kick there from the striker. So these boys really loading up, Johnny, loading up with everything. Good work there from Brendan, just loading with some punches and walking into lock on the grapple. Just setting up the grapple there. Didn't get a chance to do anything in the grapple, but just a good way to set up and, you know, for younger fighters to look at it. Open up with some punches, then walk in and lock on in the grapple.
It's pretty much under 3 2-minute rounds, Johnny. We see no feeling out process whatsoever nowadays, and both fighters, credit to them, a very entertaining first round.
The Rumble Retread in the centering, just officiating.
Round 2.
Round 2 or 3, proudly brought to you by Property All-Stars, Brendan Punman in the black shorts and Greg SS Striker in the white.
I tell you what, I reckon Brendan's feeling something in that lead leg now. As Greg SS Striker's looking to unleash his kicks, Brendan's looking to switch back again. I reckon he might be starting to feel a little bit on that lead leg of his.
Yeah, he's looking a little bit tender on particularly that left leg, Johnny is...
You can see the welts appearing on the outside of it, and he's taken some punishment, but he hasn't been checking him or anything, so he's just been static as the Greg SS Striker's been unloading on him. So that's going to take a lot of pain, mate, to get you through this one.
Yeah, good work by Brendan in the clinch there, working some good strong knees up to the
there you go.
cage.
Yeah, Brendan's been rattled again, the striker, and he's realised that. He's starting to really unload on that leg of Brendan. Brendan's trying to switch out of the way. He wants to switch to southpaw stance if he can. Oh, big ground kick there.
Yep, well spotted, Johnny. That lead leg has taken a bit of punishment, and I'm not sure whether Greg's going to get up from this.
Rexy Redden looking at Brendan, and Brendan sort of shaking his head. And there you go, it's all over. TKO win by leg kicks to Greg SS Striker from Mark Peace of Strikeforce Gym over Brendan Pullman. Very impressive performance from Greg SS Striker there, John. Tell you what, mate, from the get-go, he was loading up with those kicks. Very strong kicks there.
Ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute and 10 seconds in the round number 2. Your fight will stop. Your winner by TKO, Greg SS Striker. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring out, first of all, Team New
when you got Jason the Psycho
Team Australia. Are the 8 men that will be fighting for you this evening. Let's give it up for Team New Zealand. And let's give it up for Team Australia. Good luck to all our fighters. They have a safe fight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up. Team Australia, Team New Zealand, Eruption number 7.
Look at the size of big Paulie there, Johnny. He's a mountain of a man.
Fight number 3. First to come out, blue corner, Frizy Ryan Doyle.
Coast,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to bout number 3 of the evening. This fight is proudly brought to you by Radio Metro. It'll be fought under full tie rules. Knees and elbows are allowed. 66 kilo weight division, 5 by 2 minute rounds. Your referee in charge, Mr. Rex Redden. Firstly, to my left in the blue corner, trained by Joe Hilton at the Sunshine Coast Muay Thai Centre. He weighed in at 65.6 kilograms, hailing from the Sunshine Coast. Wearing a white tie shorts with red flames on the side. Record 13 fights, 10 wins, 1 draw, 2 by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Frizy Doyle. And his opponent to my right in the red corner, trained by Mark Pease at the Strikeforce Gymnasium. Last night at the weigh-in, he came in at 65.8 kilograms. He hails from Broadbeach, wearing black shorts with white tie riding. Fight record on 9 fights, 4 wins, 1 draw, 2 by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Rhys Mirkin.
Johnny, we were talking before about Queensland being the home of the Queensland tattoo. For those people that are watching this on Foxtel Aurora, Channel 183, we're actually talking about the cuts that are opened up using the elbows. Looking at Rhys Mirkin there, mate, he's well and truly covered in tattoos.
yeah, and probably his tattooist proudly emblazoned across his back, ingeneration.com.au. But here we are, bout number 3 of the evening, proudly brought to you by Radio Metro. 5 by 2 minute rounds under full tie rules. Rhys Mirkin in the black and Frizy Ryan Doyle in the white shorts.
Yeah, both boys got a bit of experience behind them. Rhys with 9 fights, Frizy with 13. Rhys's last outing, he fought Jamie, the official stamp, who we're going to see a little bit later on for the Queensland WMC amateur title. Unfortunately, he didn't pull that win off, but credit to both of these boys. They're at the level where they're fighting for the titles. This is not a title fight, but the boys are at that sort of level now.
On paper, experience going the way of Ryan Doyle, but so far, both fighters pretty evenly matched there for technique in centre ring as Ryan Doyle puts together a nice combination. Just trying to find his range of his teep, and there's the first upward elbow there from Ryan Doyle.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot behind it there, but Rhys got out of the way. But you can see both boys. This is 5 2-minute rounds, so the elbows are in place.
That elbow missing the mark, but obviously Ryan Doyle trying to signal to Rhys Mirkin that he means business.
See, and obviously Frizy looking to get in nice and close. He's coming in nice and close with the hands, looking like he's trying to set up on the grapple as well. And once you're in the grapple, that's when the elbows are in play. Both boys just over there in the usual corner. Good checking from both boys. High guard there from Rhys Mirkin as well. There's you said, John, two of the more prominent gyms up here, Mark Peace's Strikeforce Gym and Joe Hilton's Sunshine Coast Muay Thai.
And round number 1.
Yeah, fairly even first round there for both boys. Frizy on the front foot a little bit more.
Yeah, probably lean a little bit more towards Frizy in the first round. Round 2 of 5, proudly brought to you by Radio Metro.
Yeah, again, big thank you to the sponsors get behind Paulie McConnell and Prophecy Promotions. See Frizy just really looking to back Rhys Mirkin up there, but Rhys keeping a good high tight guard.
Yeah, nice left jab there, got through the guard of Rhys Mirkin, but Frizy just trying to work his way through.
I was going to say he's got that big height and reach advantage, but just as we say that Rhys has got a big right hand of his own through. Oh, big handy work there from Rhys Mirkin. Oh, slapping! Crossing elbow there from Rhys Mirkin. Massive elbow. Making his way back to the neutral corner, but mate, that was a big elbow.
He just rolled his hip into it, Johnny, just as you would a right hook. And he's decked Frizy for an 8 count.
Tell you what, Frizy's still in a bit of la-la land there. You see a bit of current flowing, but Rexy Rumble's asking him to walk forward, and Frizy's just sort of staring at him. Not sure when he's now just sort of slowly coming to, saying he's right to go, but Rex was calling him forward, and Rhys was just, Frizy Ryan Doyle was just standing there. So Rhys Mirkin really needs to jump on this and finish it off. And there you go, Johnny. He's unloading with the crossing elbows, upper elbows, and there you go. Rexy Redden jumps in and waves it off there. There you go. I'm not sure whether the Mark Peace Joe Hilton's thrown the towel in there, Johnny. But what an impressive performance there from Rhys Mirkin. He just jumped on Frizy Doyle there.
Well, he sat back a little in the first round and just came out all guns blazing in the second to take a very efficient and brutal win.
Just goes to show, mate,
huge elbow.
Those elbows in close, how effective they can be.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, 1 minute and 30 seconds into round number 2, Rhys Mirkin.
What an impressive performance, Rhys Mirkin, but full credit to Frizy Ryan Doyle.
Can I please have a representative from Radio Metro to centering, a representative from Radio Metro to centering.
And a big thank you to Radio Metro, as John DiMcCauley was saying there, for sponsoring this third fight of the night.
Fight number 4, blue corner, Joanna Maceachern.
See the beautiful ring girls there again. I'm not giving the girls a plug there this time. I'm giving the Fate MMA. Paul DeMcCauley bringing MMA to Queensland. The Fate MMA show on Saturday the 26th of June. That's the first MMA event to be sanctioned by the IFC, or the International Fighting Council, up here in Queensland. Paul DeMcCauley really stretching out. Full Muay Thai, now he's going to a full MMA card in June. So stay tuned for that one. Been a very busy girl, probably behind Nicole Brolin, probably the busiest girl fighter in the country over the last 12 months.
Yeah, trained by the legend John Wayne Parr.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to bout number 4 of the evening. This fight is proudly brought to you by ICNet 360. It'll be fought under full Muay Thai rules, 55 kilo weight division, 5 by 2 minute rounds. Your referee in charge, Mr. Justin Gibbons. Firstly, to my left, in the blue corner, trained by Richard Walsh at the Urban Fight Gym. Last time of the weigh-in, she came in at 54.7 kilograms. She hails from Belly Heads, wearing blue shorts. She is the WKA Australian Muay Thai Women's Champion and the WKBF Amateur World Champion. Fight record of 16 fights, 13 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 3 by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Joanna Missy Maceachern.
Johnny, an impressive record there from Missy Maceachern.
Announced to my right in the red corner, trained by John Wayne Parr, the Boonchu Gymnasium. Last night of the weigh-in, she came in at 55 kilograms. She hails from Miami Beach, wearing a white shorts with green trim. Has the WPF World Women's Muay Thai Champion and the ISKA Australian title. She has a fight record, 22 fights, 12 wins. Won by way of knockout, ladies and gentlemen, Sarah O'Connell.
Once again, 5 2-minute rounds, full tie rules. The women's bout tonight's proudly brought to you by IC Net 360. Johnny, this is going to be a great fight. Sarah O'Connell, 22 fights, 12 wins, probably behind Nicole Brolin, the busiest female fighter in the country over the last 12 months. The WPMF World Champion and the Australian ISKA Champion, taking on Joanna Missy Maceachern, formerly of Canada, now trained by Richard Walsh out of the Urban Muay Thai Gym. 16 fights, 13 wins, holds the WKA Australian title and the WKBF Amateur World title. Full tie rules, mate. Girls in centre ring. This is as good as it gets for the girls.
Yeah, Missy Maceachern, originally from Canada, although now residing out of Burleigh Heads.
Long way from the snow in Canada, mate, to the Sunshine Coast or the Gold Coast. So I tell you what, both of these girls have a bucket load of experience between them. In this 55 kilo weight division, mate, it's between 55 and 57, 58 kilos. We've just got a wealth of experience here in Australia.
Yeah, it's a very active division, and look, to be honest, Johnny, we see it on the kickboxer forums or whatever, and on the net in general, and there's a lot of camaraderie and friendship between the female fighters at this division, but when it comes to centre ring, it's all bets are off, as we're witnessing at the moment.
So with Sarah O'Connell, trained by John and Angie Parr out of the Boonchu Gym, and I tell you what, I can see a lot of John Wayne Parr in Sarah O'Connell. Just the way she lifts that lead leg all the time, just up and on toes all the time, and the way she checks and then throws those kicks. Very reminiscent of John Wayne Parr there in centre ring. Both girls good tight guard, high guard. Both loading up with their kicks. Missy just looking to step across there, big round outside kick. So don't forget, this is full tie rule, so you'll see the elbows.
Neither fighter really prepared to grapple at all so far here in the first round.
So we're both girls waiting very similarly, but Missy just looks a lot bigger than
Let's get a round number
good
one.
first round there for both girls, really loading up with their punches and their kicks.
Joanna Maceachern, Sarah O'Connell, bout number 4 of the evening.
And Missy's got trained by Richard the Wrecker Walsh, and having Carnage in the corner and the likes of that, man, that's got to give you a lot of comfort going into centre ring. But then you got Sarah O'Connell, with the likes of John Wayne Parr. You got Thor wearing a Flip T-shirt as he comes walking out as well. You got Flip in the corner as well. So it's tell you what, you got just some sensational Muay Thai gyms up here in Queensland.
As Melburnians, we just love coming up here and sitting ringside, having the privilege to commentate and just be in the company of so many Muay Thai superstars and trainers.
Just in awe of everything that goes on up here in Queensland, mate. If they only had the Melbourne weather, the 4 seasons in one day, they'd be lucky. But getting back into centre ring, as I said, Sarah with 22 fights, Joanne with 16 fights, both hold world titles in amateur divisions.
Nice couple punch combination there by Missy. As they now tie up in the red corner, you see Justin Gibbons just separating them, as I thought Missy was being pretty busy, particularly with knees up into the rib cage of Sarah.
So Sarah using that teep to her advantage. Again, very impressed, John. Just good, strong, tight guard from both girls there in centre ring. So Missy very much on the front foot tonight, but Sarah countering very well. You don't need to be on the back foot to look like you're behind in the fight as well. Being on the back foot, if you're countering and scoring as well, that's recognised under the Muay Thai scoring system.
Well, I dare say that Nicole Brolin is probably the most proficient counter fighter in this division in the country, and we've seen her have quite a lot by employing that sort of fight game plan.
Coles fought Sarah up here in Queensland, and then fought Angie Parr a week later down in Melbourne. So, you know, she's had a taste of what Boonshaw has to offer as well. But back into centering, Missy Maceachern, just continually on the front foot, some good strong hands, good kicks, using both sides of the body as well.
That's in of round number 2.
Another action-packed second round there.
Sarah O'Connell, Joanna Maceachern.
360.
And tomorrow, Next Generation. Next Generation starts tomorrow right here at Beenleigh Arena. Get your tickets today and save $10. Go and see Mary at the front to get your tickets for tomorrow's Next Generation show.
Johnny, I tell you what, you've got to be entertained by the between rounds exhibitions they're putting on outside the ring, the lovely
Round
dancing girls.
3.
Round 3 of 5, proudly brought to you by ICNet 360.
Really impressed with both these girls, just the angles they're using as well, and just smart, you know, smart work. You see Missy Maceachern there just using just a little teep to the front knee. And yeah, really smart fighting too, not just relying on one technique. They're really mixing up the techniques. They're kicking off the left, they're kicking off the right.
Double teep there by Sarah O'Connell, and just trying to keep Missy at range, but at the moment Missy Maceachern just keeps pushing forward.
So Missy's obviously well travelled. She's got the Canada emblazoned across the front of her shorts, but also WMC camp emblazoned across the back of her shorts. I know that she spent a fair bit of time training out of the WMC camp over there in Samui in Thailand. And Sarah's just recently come back from Thailand as well, where she had a few fights. Just really impressed with the combinations these girls are using. There's not a lot of single technique stuff going on here, John. They're really loading up with things, and they're using the angles, they're using the combinations.
And you know how much I love combination fighting, Johnny.
Yeah, that's one of the things you're always talking to us about, John. You know, instead of just having a one hit, one punch, you've got to follow up with things that both these girls are doing.
Nice straight right there by Sarah O'Connell. Just keeping Missy at range.
I'll tell you what,
she continues to push
Joanna
forward.
Maceachern, she doesn't know any other way apart from walking forward. Really loaded up on that lead leg kick. Switching in and out of
That's round
southpaw as
number
well.
3.
The girls are really thinking of this fight, John.
Round 4.
Just saying there, John, towards that end of the third round, the girls are really thinking about what they're doing. They're switching up their stances, and they're not giving their opponent a chance to settle into any sort of rhythm.
Look, both fighters so far, here we are in the second last round, have been very busy, Johnny, but I haven't seen really any power shots from either fighter that look like that they're going to rock their opponent, unless they just continue to wear them down. As we see Missy throw the first elbow of the fight.
Big crossing elbow, just grazed past Sarah, but don't be put off by the fact that the girls in there in centre ring, they train just as hard as the guys do. Obviously there's not as much competition around the guys, so these girls quite often come up against each other. But I tell you what, Missy Maceachern, mate, is just non-stop walking forward. It's like she's got a magnet attached to Sarah O'Connell, just walking forward all the time.
I think this is a great testament to the fitness of both fighters, Johnny, that they've been very active, very busy in centre ring with both punches, kicks. Probably not as much grappling as I would have expected so far.
I think Joanne's trying to get into grapple, but Sarah's just being a lot smarter. A big right hand there from Joanne Maceachern just there as she was coming in. But I think Sarah's smart. She's using that teep a hell of a lot and using her ankle, so she's not really giving Missy Maceachern the chance to lock up in the grapple. And referee Justin Gibbs just standing back watching there. Doesn't have a lot to do in this fight, which is a testament to the fighters, but the referee doesn't have a lot to do. Tell you what, Johnny, but as you said, mate, both girls keeping very busy throughout this fight.
A very high work rate from both fighters.
And as you said, you tend to see that in the girls. Yeah, they're really impressive with all the work rate they put in.
good strong hands from Sarah O'Connell.
Let's enter round number 4.
You can see they're both girls walking back.
What a great fight these two ladies are putting on. Both world champions. They're right here in centering Beenleigh Arena.
So 5th and final round, John Demacoli
5th and final round.
In between rounds. Both girls are world champions, so you've got the best of the best here in centre ring, and they're absolutely going for it in this 5th and final round. And proud sponsor IC Net 360, they've got to be happy with getting behind this fight.
Yeah, I think the fight's there for the taking, Johnny. It's fairly even on my scorecards so far. First 4 rounds, neither fighter really dominating, but they're picking up exactly where they left off.
Well, I think you said earlier too, John, neither girl has really thrown a lot of power shots, which has rocked things. And you look at that into the tie scoring system, whilst Missy Maceachern's been walking forward, Sarah O'Connell's been absolutely sensational with her countering as well. So, yeah, it's a tough one at this stage, but as you said, the fight's there. The crowd getting behind both girls here. Obviously, probably going to be a little bit more behind the local, if you can call Sarah O'Connell the local, over Missy Maceachern. They're training out of the Gold Coast, but originally from Canada, but she'll have her own support here from the gym. Just the work rate of these girls is, we've said it before, but they're just towards the end of the 5th round, and they're still going like they were at the start of the 1st round, and they could keep going another few more rounds.
Yeah, we see, particularly in the
40 seconds remaining in the 5th round. It's these two fighters home, Beenleigh Arena.
But these two ladies are at the same pace as finishing off the fight as exactly how they started it. And once again, a testament to their fitness, John.
And you can see, the final stage of this round, the work rate is lifting even more if that's possible. Oh, spinning back fist there from Missy.
Yeah, that was a great punch, spinning back fist combination as Missy continues with, follows up with a couple of good strong punches as well.
I'll tell you what, Sarah O'Connell just standing there trading lefts and rights with Missy Maceachern as well. And there you go, Johnny. 5 rounds of action-packed warfare from the girls, and both girls walking back in their corners with their hands raised.
We're going to the judges' scorecards for our decision. Can I please have a representative from IC Net 360 to centering? We have the official results. Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds of full Muay Thai action, the judges could not split the two. This fight is declared a draw.
There you go, Johnny, a drawn decision. You can see Sarah O'Connell there as John Demacoli, our ring announcer of the night.
Please give it up for both fighters and their corners. Joanna, Missy Maceachern, Sarah O'Connell.
Love to see these girls getting on again on the next Eruption 8.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to bout number 5 of the evening, the first fight of Australia versus New Zealand. This fight is proudly brought to you by United Limousines. It'll be fought under full Thai rules. 72 kilo weight division, 5 by 2 minute rounds. Your referee in charge, Mr. Brian Murphy. Firstly, to my left in the blue corner, trained by Jason Suddy at the Elite Thai Kickboxing Gym in New Zealand. Last night of the weighing, weighing at 70 kilograms. He hails from Mount Wellington in New Zealand, wearing white shorts with black writing. Fight record, 21 fights, 13 wins, 3 draws. Welcome into Australia, the Action Man, Stephen Anderson. And representing Australia, trained by Jim Lay at Impact Muay Thai. He also weighed in at 70 kilos, hailing from Kalinga, wearing black shorts with white trim. A fight record, 10 fights, 6 wins, 5 by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, the Reaper, Steve Richards.
Johnny Cav, United Limousines bringing us the first international
Round
bout of the
one.
night. The Reaper, Steve Richards, representing Australia, taking on Steve, the Action Man Anderson from New Zealand, from Jason Suddy's ETK gym over there in New Zealand, and a very lean Jason Suddy there in the corner.
Yeah, I've noticed Suddy seems to have shed quite a few kilos, but first bout of the evening officiated by the Murph, Brian Murphy. Always good to see him in centre ring. Quite a height advantage, obviously going the way of the Reaper, but Steve Action Man Anderson.
21 fights behind him, mate. He's experienced there in centre ring, don't worry about that. And Richie Hardcore reckons this guy's got a lot to offer. But the Reaper opened up this bout with a nice teep straight to the jaw of the Action Man, and Action Man followed up with his own axe kick, trying to get back as well. It's won 5 2-minute rounds, full Thai rules.
Yeah, good spinning back fist kick combination.
Which missed the mark, but that lead up left kick, backing that up, looks like it's caught the Reaper right on the bottom of the ribs there. And the Murphs are up to 5, giving an 8 count here. But I'll tell you what, the Reaper, Steve Richards, is not getting up.
This could be all over.
There you go, Johnny hardly got out of second gear, and Steve, the Action Man Anderson, all the way from New Zealand, mate. He is an action man. He's demolished the Reaper, Steve Richards, there inside a minute of the first round. A big win to New Zealand. And I'll tell you what, let's hope Steve Richards is okay, mate. Looks like he's
not looking too good there on the mat, Johnny.
Mate, I'd say broken ribs by the look of that one. It looked like it scored flush on the bottom of the rib cage there. And,
well, they want to reverse the United Limousine up to the door and take him away for some treatment.
1 minute and 5 seconds into round number 1. Your winner by way of knockout, Team New Zealand, the Action Man, Stephen Anderson.
I'll tell you what, Johnny Kev, no pressure on the next Australia versus New Zealand fighter, which we've got coming up a little bit later on in the night. Jamie Stamp versus Joey, but a big win to Steve the Action Man Anderson from New Zealand.
Fight number 6. Blue corner, Grant Kraaymaat. And his opponent from the red corner.
Dad's footsteps.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to bout number 6 of the evening. Prophecy Promotions, Australia versus New Zealand. This fight is proudly sponsored by Santino's Restaurant. It'll be fought under full Thai rules, knees and elbows. 76 kilo weight division. 5 by 2 minute rounds. Your referee in charge, Mr. Justin Gibbon, and they'll be fighting for the WMC Queensland State title. Firstly, to my left in the blue corner, trained by Brett Johnson at Body Smart Gym, with Preacher McPhee in his corner. Last night of the weigh-in, he came in at 76 kilograms. He hails from Townsville, wearing a white shorts with yellow dragon and black trim. Perfect fight record, 7 fights, 7 wins, 4 by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Grant Kraaymaat.
Very long and lean looking Grant Kraaymaat there.
And now to my right in the red corner, trained by Mark Pease at the Strikeforce Gymnasium. Last night of the weigh-in, he came in at 76 kilograms. He hails from Vast City Lakes, wearing black trunks with white trim. Fight record, 10 fights, 7 wins, 2 by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Lucchiari.
John Kev, as we were saying, Santino's Restaurant sponsored WMC Queensland Amateur State title on the line. Grant Kraaymaat, 7
We're
fights,
fighting
7
for the
wins.
WMC Queensland State title. Let's get ready. Round number 1.
So Grant Kraaymaat, 7 fights, 7 wins. The O has got to go. Big height and reach advantage over Mark Lucchiari with 10 fights and 7 wins. But 76 kilo, full Thai rules. See Mark Lucchiari looking to lock up in the grapple. Strong knees.
Yeah, Mark Lucchiari going to have to work hard to get those knees up into the rib cage of Grant Kraaymaat.
Yeah, we just saw a technique there from Grant in the corner. He looked to kick the back of the heel and try and sweep Mark out. Justin Gibbon just warning that's not a legal technique. But I tell you what, fighting someone like Grant Kraaymaat, long and rangy at 76 kilos, mate, it's got to be hard to get inside there. Oh, big high hand there from Mark Lucchiari as we say that.
Yeah, he must have heard you, Johnny.
Can't get in hand inside, mate, so he came straight over the top. Justin Gibbon already a little bit busy on this fight, his previous fight with the girls.
Yeah, good work there by Mark Lucchiari, getting that knee up nice and high into the rib cage.
I tell you what, he looks a lot stronger in the grapple, John. Every time he's locked on the grapple, he's been able to pull Grant's head down, and that's the way you control the grapple, by pulling the head down and taking him off their centre of gravity. So Grant just looking back in his corner there for a bit of advice. And I tell you what, when you've got the preacher in the corner and Brett Johnson on the Body Smart Gym in Townsville, he's got a bit of experience there. So Grant just looking to drop an elbow in there, but it was just a little bit too close. Very long, very lean for the 76 kilo weight division. A little bit along the lines of Kim Olsen from the Riddler's Gym over in Perth. Got to be standing 6'2", 6'3".
This one for the Queensland state title. So we'd expect the intensity to just lift a little, if at all possible, from the previous bouts we've seen so far this season.
Grant Kraaymaat. Fight proudly brought to you by the great people at Santino's on the Gold Coast. Some of our other great sponsors this evening: Network Video, Property All Stars, Radio Metro, ICNet 360, United Limousines, Santino's, FightBet.com, Azura Hotel, Souvlaki Hut, and Hogstar.
Great to see Paris from Paris Productions up here again in Queensland. This show will be on Aurora, Foxtel Channel 183 on the Fight Sports program. Keep an eye on that coming on mainstream TV for you. But also, while he's up here, mate, he's also giving some of us.
As we see, once again, Mark Lucchiari applying the grapple and attempted dump there by Grant Kraaymaat. I'm not really sure why Justin Gibbons would have stepped in to stop that, as now Grant moves in with a couple of knees of his own.
Yeah, look, Mark very strong in the grapple. Really, Grant hasn't been able to affect a lot in the grapple there, John. Just Mark just showing his strength and just pulling Grant Kraaymaat's head down. Or step up elbow there from Mark, but I tell you what, that's just fired Grant up even more.
Body rip knee combo there from Mark Lucchiari.
Crossing elbow from Mark, and I'll tell you what, Grant's coming back with a few of his own now, just standing back at range. Yeah, downward elbows, crossing elbows.
Well, I think Mark Lucchiari upset him with that elbow, as we saw Grant unleash about 2 or 3 of his own just in retaliation. It's the crowd absolutely loving.
Good body rip there from Grant Kraaymaat. Oh, there we go, another big crossing elbow there in the neutral corner, right above the commentary position.
But around this one so far from Grant Kraaymaat. Proudly brought to you by Santino's Restaurant.
Yeah, it's great to see Mark Lucchiari as well, realising with the height disadvantage he has, he's looking to come in nice and low into the midsection of Grant Kraaymaat as well.
I could say that all night, Johnny. Santino's Restaurant.
Mark Lucchiari just letting an elbow go in close. Oh, big elbow there from Grant Kraaymaat.
Yes.
Just stalking Mark Lucchiari across the ring with his elbows cocked and ready to go. But I'll tell you what, again, in the grapple, Mark Lucchiari looking a lot stronger.
Let's get a round number 2. What a round!
Just pulling his
Queensland State title on the line.
Back in their corner.
Proudly brought to you by Santino's on the Gold Coast.
So round 3, Johnny. Queensland State
round 3.
The title on the line. There we go. Grant Kraaymaat just opening up with an elbow in the 3rd round. The intentions are there, and they're bad intentions.
Yeah, good jumping knee there also from Grant Kraaymaat. Grant Kraaymaat really on the front foot now, Johnny, being much more the aggressor. Works towards Lucchiari. Punch combinations as Mark just tries to tie him up again. Perhaps he want to change his game plan a little, Johnny, and
yeah, look, mate, I don't think Grant's that comfortable in the grapple. Mark seems to be controlling Grant's head fairly well in the grapple, but Grant's just so long and lean. It's he's got to use those knees. Massive right elbow flush on the jaw from Grant Kraaymaat. It's caught Mark Lucchiari. Referee Justin Gibbons giving the count. But that was a massive elbow.
This could be lights out for Mark Lucchiari. He'll do well to get back up.
He's
on his feet.
He's up, but that was a massive elbow. And Grant's just come launching at him again with some more elbows. Similar to the fight earlier on with Rhys Mirkin as well. Bit of claret flowing there from the nose of Mark Lucchiari as well.
Well, they won't stop a fight in Queensland because of a nosebleed, that's for sure.
No, you're not wrong there, Johnny. You certainly see it flowing up here, but I tell you what, Grant Kraaymaat, he can smell this state title here, Johnny. He's really just stalking Mark Lucchiari around the ring there.
And that's twice now that Mark Lucchiari has hit the canvas. As Grant just follows up with a huge knee to the rib cage, and I think that's it, Johnny, because I was about to say Mark Lucchiari would have been slightly
it's all over.
Hitting the mat twice, and now it's a knee that did the final damage.
Yeah, it looks like it's been called off there, John. Justin Gibbon, as Mark Lucchiari was down on his knees, looked up towards the corner and then was basically helping Mark up. So I'm not sure whether Mark Peace decided Mark Lucchiari had enough, but a big win there to Grant Kraaymaat.
1 minute and 35 seconds into round number 3. Your fight was stopped. Your winner by way of knockout and new WMC Queensland State Champion, Grant Kraaymaat.
Big win to Grant Kraaymaat. That's 8 from 8, mate. And the O still has to go for Grant Kraaymaat. Big future ahead for this long-rangey fighter.
Sponsors from Santino's. Tony from Santino's on the Gold Coast. Head to the Beachcomb line, Hanlon Street, and go to Santino's Italian restaurant. Some of the best food you'll have right there in the Gold Coast. number 7, blue corner, George Groth. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to bout number 7 of the evening. This fight is proudly brought to you by fightbet.com.au. It'll be fought under full Thai rules, 62 kilo weight division, 5 by 3 minute rounds. Your referee in charge, Mr. Justin Gibbons. Firstly, to my left in the blue corner, trained by Paul Madigan at the Mad X Gymnasium. Last night of the weigh-in, he came in at 62 kilograms. He hails from Gympie, wearing black shorts with silver trim. Fight record, 19 fights, 13 wins. Ladies and gentlemen, George Groth. And out to my right in the red corner, trained by John Wayne Parr at the Boonchu Gym. Last night of the weigh-in, he came in at 61.9 kilograms. He hails from Mermaid Beach, wearing silver trunks. He holds the WKBF Australian Amateur title. Fight record, 16 fights, 3 losses, 3 coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Ketley.
Johnny Cav, our 7th fight of the night, proudly brought to you by fightbet.com.au, where you can place all your bets on all these fights here tonight and future fight events. Proudly brought to you. The 5 3-minute rounds, full Thai rules. Daniel Ketley, 16 fights, mate. His first 15 fights, this boy's gone over to Thailand and lived in Thailand, and his first 15 fights have been in Thailand. He came back to Australia, had 1 fight, won the WKBF Australian title, taking on George Groth. Also, a lot of international experience as well, coming off a recent fight in Hong Kong as well. So,
well, Daniel Ketley having 15 fights in Thailand and then coming back to Australia, who does that remind you of, Johnny?
Yes, the man in the corner, John Wayne Parr, but you can already see that Daniel Ketley very strong in the grapple, which obviously is a big part of being in Thailand. I've seen a few of his fights there on YouTube. He's a regular on the IK forum, the ikmagazine.com.au. Get onto the Sports Blitz forum and have a look around. But Daniel Ketley, a regular on there. Baby Cube, otherwise known as, but puts a lot of his fights up in Thailand there on YouTube, and so we've had a bit to see of him, even though we've never seen him. I've only seen him in the country once. We've seen a lot of his fights over there in Thailand. But George Groth at a Paul Madigan's Mad X Gym, 19 fights, 13 wins. One of the tough boys from the Mad X Gyms up there in the hills. When you've got guys like Eli and Benai Duma and Taylor Harvey up there, mate, I tell you what.
Well, pretty much this evening, if you're a fight fan, it's not only what we're seeing in centre ring, it's the representation of fighters and trainers ringside. You know, you've got Carnage, John Wayne Parr, Four Hoogland, Flip Street, Eli Madigan, Preacher Bruce McPhee, and also super promoter Tarek Solak making the trip up all the way up from Melbourne. And Johnny, you heard it first here, there are big plans in store in June. Watch this space, Tarek Solak, the super promoter. The heavyweight scene will be set on fire in June in Melbourne.
Big show on the 9th of June here in Melbourne, as you were saying, Johnny. I'll tell you what, this will be an interesting fight. Daniel having all of his fights over in Thailand, he'll be used to fighting under, for want of a better word, Thai style over there, with the Thai rhythm, the Thai scoring techniques. George Groth, 19 fights, has had international experience, but this will be an interesting fight for the judges.
Daniel Ketley, having so many fights out of Thailand, will be used to a slow start, particularly over 5 rounds. But George Groth, good handwork, particularly from George, as we'd expect to see coming out of the Mad X Gym.
Attempted crossing elbow there from George Groth, and Daniel just sort of said what was in it, and then George just unloaded with him on some hands and some elbows as well.
crossing elbow there from George Groth.
When you get to this sort of level of the boys, Johnny, sort of 15 and 20 fights, the experience is there, they know exactly what they're doing. But you can really notice the Thai rhythm in Daniel Ketley. His evasive skills already, as a couple of times George has tried to unload, his evasive skills have been very good. But at the end of the day, mate, we're fighting here in Queensland, and a big right hand there from George Groth, as we say that.
That's the end of round number 1.
Great first round there for fightbet.com.au.
Round 2.
So round 2, Johnny, for fightbet.com.au. Not sure of the odds on this one, but tell you what, Paul Demicoli and Prophecy Promotions, go to www.prophecypromotions.com.au. One of the very best fight websites in the country. I've been all over it the last couple of weeks and having a look at it again. Mate, he's got everything on there. He's got videos, he's got links to the bets, he's got everything on, he's got all of his sponsors on there. So get behind Paul Demicoli and Prophecy Promotions if you want your name out there on the mainstream TV.
Yeah, let's not forget Paul Demicoli and Prophecy Promotions late last year putting on a fight show in Vanuatu.
Taking it offshore, mate, he just loves the sport, and the people love supporting him as well. Yeah, back in centering, and they're good. Both boys are holding their own there in centering in the grapple, but a bit of a slip there to George Groth. But you can notice in the grapple, Daniel very comfortable in the grapple, which is what that's what they live on in Thailand. He just tends to drop his hands a little bit, Daniel.
When kicking.
Yeah, when kicking.
Which is an absolute no-no, because George Groth will be onto him if he continues to drop his hands. He'll come straight over the top, Johnny, mark my words.
Daniel seems to be using that a fair bit. Really loading him with that. Crossing elbow there from George Groth, and Daniel just sort of shaking his head. A lot of the purists out there, Johnny, they don't like the Thai style. I love watching a couple of good Thai stylists in the centre ring. But the boys are loading up when they get the chance, but the rhythm's there, and the technique's there, the evasive skills are there. That's what you see a lot of in Thailand. I love this sort of fighting.
We want entertainment, Johnny. That's the important... want the fighters to work, as we're seeing, particularly George Groth with his hands. But interesting in both corners, John Wayne Parr shouting instructions, obviously, to Daniel Ketley, but Paul Madigan and Eli fairly quiet over in their corner, so they're obviously pretty happy with what George Groth has put together so far here as we come into the latter stages of the second round.
Both boys have been letting the elbows go as well. There's nothing of any substance has caught anyone at this stage. Daniel using his ankles very well.
Yeah, good straight left from George Groth. I'm impressed with George's handiwork, Johnny.
Yeah, he's really loading up with his kicks as well. Take carefully, Daniel.
Nice to see fighters touching gloves.
A little bit different to the first fight of the night.
Number 2.
The Bulldozer and Little John. Another action-packed round there for fightbet.com.
For the first time at Beenleigh Arena, Saturday, June 26th, Fate Mixed Martial Arts Prophecy proudly presents Fate Beyond Human Control. Round 2.
Another plug to Paul Demicoli's show coming up in a couple of months' time, John. Saturday the 26th of June, the Fate MMA up here in Queensland. Paul Demicoli bringing you the best in the Muay Thai and the best in MMA. Back into centering now, 5 3-minute rounds, 4 rules.
Yeah, once again, George Groth just putting together his combinations very nicely. Just missing with the kick, looking to tenderise that lead leg of Daniel Ketley.
And again, for any sponsors out there that want to get on board behind Paul Demicoli and Prophecy Promotions, you can be contacted at www.prophecypromotions.com.au. And you'll be seeing this show live on Fight Sports on the Aurora channel, Foxtel channel 183, proudly brought to you by Paris Productions 0428 586 203, bringing you the best fight sports from across the country. And he is, yes, Johnny, he is the best DVD producer in the country, bar none. But back in the centre ring, I'll tell you what, some good handiwork there, and it looks like a bit of a cut might have opened up on George Groth's head. Actually, I'm not sure whether it's a cut on
yeah, it's interesting.
George Groth's head.
Yeah, there's a bit of blood on both fighters, Johnny. It's actually...
yeah, it looks like Daniel Ketley's been cut under the left eye, right on the cheekbone. Not sure what caused that, but a bit of claret flowing there in the third round, Johnny.
Yeah, but luckily for Daniel Ketley, on the cheekbone there, that won't interrupt his vision at all. So
yeah, and if he's had 15 fights in Thailand, mate, he would have had worse than that in Thailand. Don't you worry about that.
Yep, famous quote by the gunslinger John Wayne Parr in that bout against Chris Allen, where I've had worse cuts than this in Thailand.
And that was one of the biggest cuts we've ever seen in Australia. George Groth just looking to unload at the moment. Team Boonshu, when they get back into the corner after this round, they'll want to get to work on that one. As you said, it's not going to interrupt the fight. It's below the eye. It's not running into the eye.
As we see George Groth just trying to unload that teeth, but good evasive work by Daniel
two fighters. Let's bring this round home, Beenleigh Arena.
Big elbow go, which just missed the mark.
Nice teep too by Daniel, trying to keep George at range, but George continues to push forward.
So obviously Daniels must be spending a lot of time undercover training in Thailand, mate, 'cause he's been over there for about 12 months. He's had 15 fights, and where's the suntan? Yeah, but again, good evasive skills from Daniel Ketley. Good straight.
Once again, not a lot of grappling in this fight so far, Johnny.
That's the end of the round. Let's give it up for these two fighters. What an entertaining round that was. Daniel Ketley, George Groth. Round 4.
And for John and Team Boonshu between rounds have been working feverishly on that cut of Daniel Ketley on the upper left cheekbone, and let's see how that holds up. Like it there from Daniel Ketley.
Yeah, just taken on the gloves by George Groth.
As you said, both boys, sort of 15, 20 fights, mate. These boys have got great experience there in the centre ring. Now they know what to look out for. I said, whether you're training at Mad X or Boonshu, mate, there's no shortage of sparring partners in the gym there, so you've got the best and best. And, mate, that is just classic Thai grappling there from Daniel Ketley, just taking George Groth down into the canvas.
Yeah, good show of strength by Daniel. And as we know, Johnny, that will score quite well on the judges' scorecards because Daniel remained on his feet.
Yep.
Obviously, when one fighter tries to dump the other and they both end up on the mat, no score.
No, exactly, and that was just that was textbook grappling there from Daniel Ketley. So Daniel has a tendency to drop his hands a fair bit, and he hasn't been, well, he's been caught because he's been cut, but I'm surprised he hasn't been caught a little bit more with his hands dropping down as they do. But also great extension there on that teep there, really followed through on that teep there to George Groth.
I'd like to see him use that teep and then follow up rather than just a single front kick, John.
Justin keeping a really close eye on those.
Nice right hook, short left combo there from George Groth.
Yeah, George just continuing on the front foot. The grapple over in the red corner, over in the Boonshu corner. Both boys still showing good rhythm, good power. Tipped Superman punch there from Daniel Ketley. Not sure whether you see too many of those over in Thailand. Not so much from the Thais, you might see from the Westerners over in Thailand, but something that Daniel's brought back with him. I think Daniel's heading back to Thailand again shortly to resume his training over there, living full time in the camps over there in northern Thailand, training away. George Groth really looking like
30 seconds remaining in round number 4.
Came back with a sneaky little close elbow of his own.
That step-up teep is worked pretty well for Daniel Ketley. As we see now, both fighters exchanging elbows, neither really hitting the mark.
This is a classic example of using your elbows and just getting in the range. Daniel Ketley consistently just changing his angle in centre ring. And George Groth, he's been able to catch him as well at times.
That's the end of round number 4.
And, fifth and final round coming up. This one's there for the taking as well.
Fighters touch gloves. This is the 5th and final round.
So fightbet.com.au proudly bringing you this 5th round of the 7th fight of the night. We've got 3 more fights after this, Johnny. Australia, New Zealand. But centering now George Groth from the Maddox gym, Paul Madigan's gym, and Daniel Ketley, John Wayne Parr's Boonshu gym down there on the Gold Coast.
Well, I wish I'd have placed a bet on fightbet.com.au with George Groth, Johnny, because so far, the first 4 rounds, I got him slightly ahead on my scorecard, just because of the busier work rate. I think he's been much more effective with his hands, but the fight's there. I think Daniel Ketley really needs to pick it up here in the 5th and final.
As I said, John, it was going to be interesting knowing that Daniel's history with 15 fights over in Thailand and used to fighting Thai style, as we said. It'll be interesting to see how the judges see it as well. But yeah, George certainly has been the more aggressive of the fighters.
Once again, that teep just working a treat for Daniel, but not following up.
Halfway through this 5th and final round.
As we see, George continues to push forward. Daniel.
Massive crossing elbow there from Daniel that just missed the mark. And looks like we've got a bit of a rat's tail hanging out of the bottom of Georgie Groth's pants there. That's probably it's got his groin protector tied on this one.
Come on,
I
bring his
want to
fight
make sure that's
home,
tied on
Baylon.
properly because you wouldn't want that coming loose at this stage of the fight.
Yeah, well, I doubt they'll be making adjustments at this stage of the fight, but hopefully that won't bother him too much. Justin Gibbons has spotted it.
Look, for the safety of the fighter, John, is probably the best thing to do. So just back into the corner of Paul Madigan, just a bit of adjustment there. And Justin Gibbons just adding a bit of comedy to it, just standing back, not wanting to get involved.
Big shout out to Matty Reid if you're watching this. I think Matty will have fond memories of a box adjustment in centre ring at one of the KO promotions in Epping.
Yes, I think it was all out for everyone to see. It's not going to affect George Groth at this stage of the fight, but for the safety of the fighter, you need to look after him. George Groth just really coming home strong in this 5th and final round. Big looping left.
Yeah, once again, good strong hands by George Groth as he now ties up Daniel Ketley in the grapple.
And Johnny, Daniel Ketley should be aware of that in Thailand. They've got to bring it home hard in the 5th and final round, and George Groth is the one doing it.
Attempted jumping downward elbow from George Groth.
And that's what they do in Thailand. They finish strong, and he's got to finish strong.
Yeah.
And George Groth is on the
30
front
seconds
foot and
remaining in the
aggressive
final
here in
round.
the 5th and
Come on,
final round.
Beenleigh
George
Arena.
definitely looking to put the lights out on Daniel Ketley here in the final stages.
Yeah, loaded up with a really big kick there, just took Daniel off his feet. Step up elbow from George Groth. And, bit of vocal support in the background there for George Groth as well. Both boys just back in centre ring, but really Daniel hasn't done enough for me in this 5th round to sway Johnny, you were prepared to put some money on that one, but fightbet.com.au, I'm not a betting man, but tell you what.
George Groth, Daniel Ketley.
George Groth really brought it
Can I
home.
please have a representative from fightbet.com
to go to the
to
judges and see
centre ring?
Daniel Ketley just walking around
After 5 rounds of full Thai action, we have reached our decision. Your winner by split points. Blue corner, George Groth.
Well, there you have it, Johnny. Very interesting split point decision, but quite a contrast in styles in terms of the traditional Thai.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Daniel Ketley right here in centre ring. What a great fight he put on show. Just missed out today,
the whole fight,
but I'm sure
very entertaining nevertheless.
Fight number 8, blue corner, Team New Zealand, Joey.
But here we go, Australia versus New Zealand, our second fight of the night. New Zealand already leading 1-0, so Jamie Stamp, no pressure, mate, but the pressure is here on you to get Australia back to 1-1. Anthony the Hitman Bella, centre ring, bleeding out Jamie, the official stamp, the WMC Queensland Amateur State Champion. Mate, he needs to get Australia back on the scorecards here against young Joey from New Zealand.
Yes, in the Battle of the Anzacs, Johnny, it's 1-0 to New Zealand at this stage. But I'd be a little bit surprised by a fighter with the name Joey.
Yeah, we're not sure what Joey's surname is.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Property Promotions welcomes you here at bout number 8 of the evening. This fight is proudly sponsored by the Azura Hotel. It'll be fought under full Muay Thai rules, 63 kilo weight division, 5 by 2 minute rounds. Your referee in charge of this bout, Mr. Justin Gibbons. Firstly, to my left in the blue corner, trained by Jason Suddy at the Elite Thai Kickboxing Gymnasium in New Zealand. He came in at 61.7 kilograms. He hails from Manarua in New Zealand, wearing black shorts with red writing. Fight record, 9 fights, 8 wins, 1 by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Team New Zealand, Joey.
There you go, Johnny. Joey doesn't have an official surname.
And now, to my right in the red corner, representing Australia. He's trained by Anthony Vella at the Hitman Gymnasium. He came in at 62.5 kilograms. He hails from Ormo, wearing red shorts with the official emblazoned across the front. He is the current WMC Queensland State Champion, and his fight record stands 6 fights, 6 wins, 4 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the official Jamie Stamp.
Full time rules the case, you've got to protect yourselves at all times. I want to see a nice clean fight showing sportsmanship, alright? Go back to your corner, wait for my command. Let's go.
Johnny, we've got the Battle of the Anzacs here in centre ring. We've got the Battle of the Rat Tails and the battle of who's got the best hairdresser in whether it's Australia or New Zealand. We've got Eruption carved into the back of Jamie Stamp's head, which you've got to love. How's that for promoting the promoter in centre ring there?
Yeah, obviously Jamie Stamp spending a bit of time at the hairdressers before this evening's bout with quite a height and reach advantage, obviously going the way of the official Jamie Stamp. But Joey just all guns blazing at the moment, really not showing any respect at all to Jamie Stamp.
Yeah, you can also already see Jamie in the clinch there was just trying to unload the elbows on the top of young Joey's head. Mate, there's plenty of room to do that because, as you said, he's got that height advantage. But I tell you what, he's riding on a bit of a high at the moment. Jamie, the official Stamp, just coming off a massive WMC title win on War of the Shore 16 back in March over Rhys Mirkin. Dropped him 3 times in the first round, won by unanimous points decision. I'll tell you what, after seeing Rhys dispose of his opponent earlier on the night, that's tell you what, that'll make for a great rematch down the track as well. But young Joey, mate, 9 fights, 8 wins from Jason Suddy's gym over there in New Zealand. He'll be well prepared.
And there's the first of the downward elbows by Jamie Stamp, and follows up with a nice crossing elbow as well.
It's a bit messy in the grapple, Johnny. Joey's look, he realises he's got the height and reach not in his favour, so he's trying to get in close, but it's a bit scrappy.
But very entertaining, I must say, Johnny. Jamie Stamp, trained by a Melbourne Muay Thai legend, Anthony the Hitman Bella.
One of Team Ultimate, one of Johnny Sheeter's first ever world champions, and we'd love to see the Hitman. Unfortunately, his career finished a little bit earlier than what a lot of us would have liked to have seen, but one of the best there was back in the early days of Muay Thai in Australia.
Just a slip there on the mat by Joey.
I see Joey really looking to rely on the big overhand rights, mate. He realises he's going to struggle to get in close on Jamie, so he's just coming in with almost like a big Richard Hadley run-up, mate. Big overhand right hand.
That's the end of round number 1.
Tell you what, a fast and furious first round there, sponsored by the Azura Hotel.
Brought to you by the Azura Hotel. Joey, the official Jamie Stamp. The second fight of Australia versus New Zealand.
Looking forward to seeing Jamie. He's got to square the ledger here, Jamie. So as we said a little bit earlier on, Johnny, no pressure, but mate, we're behind. We being Australia, we're behind. Oh, big overhand right there from Joey. But I tell you what, Jamie needs to settle the ledger here.
I think we ought to dub Joey with a ring name, Johnny. Perhaps the Bomber. He just keeps trying to unload that right bomb.
A big overhand right, mate. I tell you what, he's for a little fella, he's packing a lot of punch with that big overhand right.
With the words emblazoned across the back of his shorts: "Respect all, fear none."
Yeah, that's a great slogan to live by.
Good use of the teep there by Joey as he comes in once again, just keeping his hands dangerously low. Also,
I tell you what, and young Joey there, just the overhand rolling elbow as well, but didn't quite hit the mark.
Mixing up his punches too. Saw him, a nice left body rip by Joey, following up once again having the punch upwards just to connect to Jamie Stamp.
Tell you what, Jamie at 63 kilos, very long and lean, would be awkward for any fighter in the 63 kilo weight division. That height and reach that he's got there. But I tell you what, Joey's not frightened about coming in. You'd think that he'd want to be sort of keeping his distance, but really, he's got no other option in this fight. He's got to come in, and the only way he's going to do that is just come straight in and come straight over the top, which is what he's trying to do.
Oh, good, strong left round kick by Jamie Stamp.
Another big looping overhand right there from Joey.
Yeah, nice couple punch kick combination there by Jamie Stamp. That's what I love, Johnny, combinations.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Joey's he's learned very, very early on in this fight to keep his guard up nice and high, because Jamie's unloading those kicks. And with Joey being of shorter stature, you don't have to stretch as far to get those kicks up. So Joey's learned to keep his right glove planted firmly on his chin.
Yeah, good use of the teep there by Jamie Stamp.
Fast and furious second round there for both
round number 2. After this fight, we're going to have the special V-Dance show. Wait for it. Last time it was great. We can't wait for it again here. The V-Dancers in centre ring.
Tell you what,
round 3.
Before, Jason the Psycho Sutty's looking a lot leaner than what he was in his fighting days, mate. So he's obviously, you know, he was beefed up for the heavyweights, but I tell you what, now he's looking a lot leaner.
Round 3 of 5, proudly brought to you by Azura Hotel.
Step up that way, Joey just attempting a high head kick there. I tell you what, man, I'd give him 10 out of 10 if he was able to wrap on around Jamie. Because I tell you what, it's a long way up from where he's starting from. He's got a bit of a rat tail there to match Goth.
Yeah, he's got the Goth-Sernoi hairstyle. Short elbow there by Jamie Stamp, but just a slip from Joey.
Tell you what, he's full of determination, young Joey. They're just continually walking forward. So there's got to be probably nearly a foot's difference in height on these boys, just watching them there in centre ring.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Jamie Stamp, as I was about to say, Johnny, really not using the grapple at all, and as we know, the hitman Anthony Vella was very proficient, particularly in the clinch. Very strong knee fighter, but Jamie Stamp just happy to kickbox Joey at this stage.
I'll tell you what, Jamie's he's got to keep his guard up though, because Joey's rolling him over the top. Jamie Stamp is trying to wrap on around the neck of Joey.
Good strong kick to the lead leg by Jamie Stamp.
Downward elbow there from...
downward elbow, a couple of punch combination. Unfortunately just missing the mark, but very entertaining to watch.
Round 4. Remaining in the round. Let's get to round number 4. Fighters touch gloves. This is the 5th and final round.
Yes, the hitman versus the
official.
leading fighter from the hitman stable.
But both boys long and range. We're back in the centering now.
Yeah, good call too, Johnny. Very similar in physique, both Chris Horn and Jamie Stamp. Once again, Jamie Stamp looking to wrap that roundhouse kick around the back of the neck of Joey.
Tell you what's interesting, I reckon that Jamie's actually struggling to find the right range height-wise with his kicks to Joey. Like, he's trying to knock his block off, which is fair enough, that's what he's in centering to do. But when you've got a fighter that's so short, it's a bit like trying to fight Mike Zambides at 5'0". You know, unless it might be a normal rib kick to someone that's going over the top of their head. I'll tell you what, both boys loading up with absolutely.
Attempted jumping knee there by Jamie Stamp, and Joey counters with one of his own.
He's got a little bit further to jump though to try and plant that on Jamie Stamp.
Yeah, this is great to watch, Johnny.
We're just getting a bit cocky there in centering, his hands down, just waving around.
Only 40 seconds remaining in this final round. Let's bring these two fighters
nice
home.
Step up knee by the official, Jamie Stamp, as he just tries the cranium cracker on Joey, the downward elbow. The crowd now really getting behind Jamie Stamp as he just muscles in on Joey. A couple of 3, 4 crossing elbows in succession, and he connects with some nice clean punches and puts Joey down for an 8 count.
Yeah, you've got to love that. Jamie just had his hand wrapped around the back of Joey's neck and was just unleashing the elbows and the hands on him. But tell you what, mate, that's brought it home for Australia, I reckon. And a big downward elbow, looked like to the back of the top of the head.
That's the end of the fight. That's the end of the
There you
fifth and
go, what
final
an action-packed
round.
5th round. Going to the judges' scorecard, but I tell you what, Jamie Stamp, I reckon, has done enough to bring this one back to 1-1 with 2 fights to go.
Muay Thai action. The judges have made their decision. Your winner by unanimous points, red corner.
There you go, Johnny.
Official
1-1 and a big rap for Jamie, the official stamp.
Stamp.
Sending Joey back to New Zealand with his rat tail between his legs. 1-1 now, Johnny, with 2 fights to
That
go.
takes it to 1-1. With 2 to go, let's give it up for Joey here in centre ring. What a great show he's put on. Check out vdancers.com.au to check out all the latest on the dances you'll see here this evening.
Here we go, Johnny. Paul Demicoli brings on the V Dance Show.
All right, let's give it up for the V Dancers. vdancers.com.au. Check it out. Your hottest dance crew in all of Queensland.
Forty fights under his belt, Johnny, one of my favourite.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the semi-main event of the evening. This fight is proudly brought to you by the Suvalaki Hut. It'll be fought under full Thai rules, 71 kilo weight division, 5 by 3 minute rounds. Your referee in charge, Mr. Brian Murphy. Firstly, to my left in the blue corner, representing New Zealand, trained by Jason Suddy at the Elite Thai Kickboxing Gym in New Zealand. Last night of the weigh-in, he came in at 72.7 kilograms. He hails from Mungari in New Zealand, wearing white shorts with electric emblazoned across the front. Fight record of 35 fights, 24 wins, 2 draws, 7 by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Edwin Samy. And now to my right in the red corner, representing Australia, trained by Arslan Magomedov at the Scorpion Gymnasium. He weighed at 71.5 kilograms. He hails from Carrara, wearing black tie shorts with yellow and white piping. He is the current WMC Australian Muay Thai champion. He is also the WKN Australian Muay Thai champion. Fight record, 40 fights, 34 wins. 22 fights won by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Sebastian.
Johnny, it's 1-1 at the moment. Suvalaki Hut sponsoring.
Fighters to centre ring.
This semi-main event, Frankie Giorgi taking on Electric Edwin Samy. Electric Edwin Samy, mate, been around for a long time.
You both know the rules. All I ask for a good, clean fight, okay? When I say break, I want good, clean, even breaks. Defend yourself at all times. Good luck.
Not sure where Electric Edwin Samy's originally from, mate. He doesn't look like a Kiwi to me, but he's been based over in New Zealand for a long time. And, mate, he's as tough as they come out of New Zealand. He's very hard to put away. 35 fights, 24 wins with Frankie Giorgi, the current WMC and WKN Australian champion. He just recently defeated Dusan Salva on Darren Kurovic's domination show over in Perth on the undercard of the John Wayne Parr World title fight. So he's on a bit of a roll at the moment, Frankie Giorgi.
Yeah, Edwin Samy opening up with an attempted spinning back fist, which is quite unusual early on in the 5-round war. We would expect from both these fighters.
Yeah, one thing you'll see with Frankie Giorgi, Johnny, he loads up with absolutely every shot, and we've seen him demolish his opponents. And he's had 34 wins, 22 by KO, so that's a decent knockout percentage ratio.
Yeah, look, I haven't met Edwin Samy personally, but Frankie Giorgi I've had the pleasure of talking to on a number of occasions, and you wouldn't meet a quieter, nicer guy outside the ring. Softly spoken, but come centre ring time is a completely different persona. He's very focused and just looking to put the lights out on his opponent.
Yeah, he's very snappy with all his combinations, John. We're already seeing that here in this first round. This one's 5 3-minute rounds, full title rules, sponsored by the Savlaki Hut. Just very crisp, Frankie is. Edwin looking, without trying to be too unkind to him, just looking a little bit on the, I suppose, not as lean as Frankie, shall we say, Johnny, in the conditioning stakes.
Yeah, well, not really sure what Edwin weighed in at, but he's probably put on a couple of kilos now come fight time, which is not uncommon, Johnny. We know that John Wayne Parr, in particular, between weigh-in and fight time can put on anywhere up to 10 kilograms, which never ceases to amaze me, but...
Yeah, I just got a funny feeling, though, that Edwin could probably fight a little bit lighter than the 71, but having said that, he's been around for a long time, 35 fights. But, I reckon his shins might be a little bit banged up looking at the guards that he's got on. He's got a couple of ankle guards taped right up on his right shin specifically with a fair bit of padding underneath that. Frankie Giorgi just unloading on that leg of his and Edwin switching between southpaw and orthodox stance.
Attempted catch and sweep there by Frank. Good work, follows up with a knee, but Edwin just drops Frankie on his backside.
Yeah, Frankie's work rate always right up there. Murphy just there as he was getting out of the way.
Yeah, big right roundhouse kick there by Edwin, looking to take Frankie's head off, just missing the mark.
Gotta love the Murphy centering. Just love the way he referees. Probably recognised as being the best Muay Thai referee in the country.
That's the end of round number
absolutely.
one.
And, was
Edwin,
a great fighter in his day
Giorgi.
too, the headhunter Brian Murphy.
Proudly brought to you by Savlaki Hut.
So round 2, 5 3-minute rounds, full title rules.
Round 2.
Third fight of Australia versus New Zealand, and it's 1-1. So Frankie Giorgi, we're looking good to bring this one home. Frankie reminds me, 71 kilo fighter, reminds me a lot of the lighter guys. He's just so quick and snappy with his techniques. Wouldn't mind seeing Frankie have a crack at the likes of Eli or the Preacher even.
Well, I'm pretty sure that would be on his agenda in the near future. Frank being a bit busier of late than we've seen him, perhaps in the last 6 or 12 months, being quite active, and we've seen him fighting over in Perth as well. And on the Kickboxer forums, Richard Ricker Walsh putting it out there that Frankie is looking to have a very busy 2010.
Edwin Samy just trying to wrap one around Frank's neck and just graze the top of his head.
Good punches there by Frankie Giorgi, working the body and then going upstairs. And now attempting a crossing and upward elbow. Oh, it's an elbow combination, Johnny.
Yeah, the crossing and then the upper elbow, John, but it's another step up elbow there.
Yeah, just poking that teep into Edwin to keep him at range.
But I'll tell you what, Edwin's already shown that he's happy to trade backwards, and Frank's got to keep his wits about him.
Once again, Edwin attempting that spinning back fist, just pulling back on that one. But he was looking to line him up.
He was, but Frank was well out of the way, but that's why he put his line go. See Arslan there, very vocal on ringside there, calling out to his charger, Frankie Giorgi.
Big moving right hand there by Edwin. Frank just keeping a pretty low guard, Johnny. Which, in contrast to Edwin, who's keeping a very nice tight defensive guard. But as Frank tries to work the body, then upstairs.
Good observation for Johnny. Edwin keeping his guard up nice and tight as Frank's coming in. Just the work rate for Frank is just sensational. Just always doing something. But I tell you what, take nothing away from Electric Edwin Samy. He's not setting the place on fire at the moment, but he's when you just think that Frankie's going to unload, Edwin comes back to something of his own.
step-up elbow there from Frankie, so he's not holding back at all. He's looking for a knockout technique. As we know, Johnny, it only takes one good elbow to hit the mark and it's lights out.
The third round of Australia versus New Zealand. 1-1 at the moment. Boom Boom takes on JWP, our 6-time world champion. The Preacher versus Eli. Tomahawk Thompson takes on Sing Sari, the person he beat last year at the Eruption Super 8 final. Daddy Cool. Triple D takes on Chad the Stalker Walker. Get your tickets at Ticketek. Round 3.
There in the corner of Lecture, Edwin Samy telling his charge to really lift his game. Frank's been a lot busier.
Yeah, I think Edwin would really need to step up the pace because Frankie's just a phenomenal work rate so far. Whether it be punches, kicks, attempted elbow strikes, as you said, Johnny, he just never an idle moment for him in centre ring. So round 3 of 5, proudly brought to you by Souvlaki Hut.
Tell you what, mate, we've had the Italians and now we've got the Greeks sponsoring these fights.
Well, that's what we want to see. It's a multicultural sponsorship. Fighters, trainers, whatever, that's Australia for you, Johnny. And it all makes for a very interesting and entertaining fight scene.
Speaking of multicultural, you can see the waistband around Frankie's shorts is the red, white and green, John. Showing the Italian heritage of Frank Sebastian or Frank Giorgi. Just really loads up. You know, we've said it before, but just his work rate is just relentless. Oh, good step up knee there from Electric Edwin Samy. I'll tell you what, as I said, he's not looking as conditioned as Frankie, but tell you what, he's on the front foot at the moment.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a height advantage, and that was probably the first example so far in this fight of Edwin really using it.
And fighting out of southpaw at the moment. So, you know, he's switching it up, really making Frankie think about what he's got to do.
Yeah, good step up knee there from Frankie. Follows up with a nice straight right to the midsection. Yeah, this is good work by Frank, you know, working his punches both upstairs and downstairs.
Murph really not having what to do in this fight, just sort of standing back and enjoying it there in the centre ring.
Yeah, attempted step jumping knee there from Edwin Samy, and Frank just rolled him over.
Well, look, you don't see a lot of fighters do that when they catch a kick. That's a good technique to use. Just roll yourself to the side, and it really takes your opponent off balance. I'll tell you what, Edwin's really starting to load up, fighting back out of orthodox stance again. I reckon he just switched to southpaw just before, just to give that lead leg of his a bit of a break, because Frank's just been peppering away at it.
Yeah, nice flashy spinning back kick there from Edwin Samy. Unfortunately, just missed a mark. Perhaps he might want to try that technique and aim for the midsection rather than the head.
It looked like a couple of seconds ago he was looking like he wanted to set up with another spinning back fist, but Frank was just backing off a bit, so he didn't unleash it. Listen, John, Frank's hands at times drop dangerously low. Oh, massive elbow from Frank, that just missed the mark. And there you go, right on the bell, a bit of Frankie Giorgi there just doing the splits and Edwin just unleashing a knee right on the bell.
Yeah, good flexibility there from Frank to do the splits
Round 4.
in that round.
Well, he figured if the V dance girls could do the splits in centre rings, he was going to show them how he could do it as well. But no disrespect to Frank, I'd rather see the V girls doing the splits in centre ring. Again, just Frank just working the high kicks, as you said, the low kicks, both sides. Just super quick with his reflexes.
Once again, this semi-main event, Australia versus New Zealand, proudly brought to you by Souvlaki Hut. There goes Edwin once again with that attempted spinning back fist.
Oh, nice, good short crossing elbow there from Frank. And
Frank onto him with a right round kick as he now follows up, punches to the body, round kick, teep. Good work by Frank. Step up knee.
but he's been busy in that those few seconds there, John. That elbow, I think it sort of dazed Edwin just for the second. He went down, he got up, he looked at Murph, and Frank was just launching it to begin with another high kick.
Looping right hand by Frank, but look at how he just uses that short teep to just poke Edwin and keep him away every time Edwin tries to move in on him.
But that's just a testament to how quick Frank is on his toes, and his reaction times. There's nothing in it. He's just so quick when he unloads a kick, just like that one. It comes out of nowhere, and as you said, Johnny, when he's using that teep, someone's walking or Edwin's walking in at him, he just teeps him away.
He's basically using that short teep just like a jab, which we don't see that often, but it's a great technique, working well for Frankie so far in this fight.
It's almost like Frankie's been drinking the knee out the back, mate. He's almost hyperactive there in the centre ring.
Yeah, not flat-footed at all, always on the balls of his feet. This is a great technical fight by Frank Giorgi. Once again, puts that teep straight into the midsection of Edwin Samy.
Full credit to Edwin. Frank's thrown absolutely everything at him, and she said Frank's won 22 of his 34 fights by knockout, and no sign of anything at this stage taking Electric Edwin Samy out.
Good step up knee once again by Frank Giorgi, follows up, round kick to the rib cage. Perhaps he's wondering what has he got to do to really rock Edwin Samy.
And Jason Suddy very vocal in the corner, just settling Electric Edwin Samy just to keep going.
30 seconds remaining in round number 4.
It's just hard to know where Frank's coming from, you know. It looked like he was setting up from the hands and then unleashed just another low kick.
But he does fire his techniques at a very rapid rate, John. Well spotted.
I'll tell you what, just there, Edwin had Frankie locked up in his own corner, just unleashed a couple on him, a couple of unanswered shots.
Good work by Edwin to get out of the red corner.
That's the end of round
Frank
number
was,
4.
Preparing to unload on him once again.
What an exciting round of Muay Thai action. Frankie Sebastian, Edwin Samy. It'll come down to the final round. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the bar shuts at midnight. You've got 20 minutes of drinking time left. Seconds out.
Just telling the boys, seconds out, 5th and final round. Semi-main event, Souvlaki Hut sponsored final round.
Fighters touch gloves. This is the 5th and final round.
Both boys just sort of standing back looking at Murph as if to say, can we start? But the bell hadn't gone at that stage. But, again, just super impressed with Frankie Giorgi. He just loads up with every single shot.
Good strong low kicks to that lead leg of Edwin Samy. But really, Edwin needs to go for broke here in the final round. Frank will be well ahead on points. As Frank goes to work, doubling up on the left knees into the midsection, attempted crossing elbow. Now working the right knee, follows up with the left. This is fantastic. Great to watch.
Yeah, textbook work from Frankie Giorgi, but I'll tell you what, some of those elbows haven't quite found the range, but if they do, it'll be lights out to Electric Edwin Samy.
Interesting there, Frank caught that round kick, but didn't even attempt at all to try and sweep the supporting leg off Edwin.
And so a lot of young fighters want to sit back and just watch the work rate of Frankie Giorgi and the way that he uses all of his weapons. He's not stagnant. He's moving around all the time. He's using absolutely every technique that he's got, and he uses them with great effect.
Once again, Edwin attempting that spinning back fist, which he might as well leave that one at home. It hasn't worked for him so far, and he's not going to win the fight unless he connects really sweetly with one of those.
Yeah, and there's just no venom in it, John. He's basically just sort of rolling it around. It's giving Frankie just a chance to step back and evade it.
Yeah, it's almost telegraphed, and Frank can see it coming, and as we see Frank continue to pile the points onto the scorecard.
You know, we get guys like Michael Tomahawk Thompson, who's renowned for the spinning back fist and spinning back elbows and taking his opponents out. But at the moment, Frankie Giorgi just unloading on Edwin Samy. Frankie's leg goes out of the ring and he just pulls it back in to unleash a few more knees.
Steps back into the ring as he just goes to town on Edwin Samy with knees to the midsection.
a lot of those two are also catching Edwin on the gloves as well. And you can see, again, this is full credit to Edwin Samy just walking forward again. Frank's unleashed absolutely everything onto him.
Only 50 seconds remaining. Come on, let's bring this fight home.
And John Demicoli just getting right behind the crowd who are getting behind Frankie.
Yeah, once again, nice step up knee from Frank Giorgi. As Edwin now just looking to put a couple of punches together as Frankie just leans back out of the way.
Yeah, really
doesn't seem too troubled at all.
No, he doesn't look. He's in total control here in centre ring. But having said that, Edwin's just got a big overhand right there. But Frank's work rate is relentless. His scoring shots are just, that'll get the fight home to him. Good crossing elbow there from Frank. One of the very few times the Murphs had to step into centre ring and break the boys up.
Looping right hand by Edwin.
Action-packed, John.
We await the judges' scorecards to get your winner.
This one will be going to the judges' scorecard for the...
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the judges' scorecards, and your winner by unanimous points, Team Australia, red corner, Frankie Sebastian. Takes the toll to 2-1. Australia's way. It comes down to the main event to see if New Zealand can score the ledger.
That's a trophy, That's a trophy.
It's the main event. Blue corner, Team New Zealand, The Rock, Big Paulie.
Johnny, the Man Mountain, The Rock, Big Paulie from Jason Suddy's ETK gym over in New Zealand. A massive man.
Well, I think we should rename him Huge Paulie because he is a mammoth of a man.
And taking on Cedric Kongaika. Cedric, 13 fights, 7 wins, 7 KOs, trained by Nugget. We've seen Cedric in one of his recent outings just have a bit of a sparring session with Steve the Hammer Fist tipping on one of the Evo shows where he made very short work of the Hammer Fist. But
ladies and gentlemen, Prophecy Promotions welcomes you to the main event of the evening. This fight is proudly brought to you by Hogstar. It'll be fought under full Thai rules. Super heavyweight division, 5 by 3 minute rounds. Your referees at ringside, Rex Redden, Richard Fogarty, and Graham Flynn. Your official doctor, Doc Sewell. Your timekeeper, Josh Demicoli. Your referee in charge of this bout, Mr. Brian Murphy. Ladies and gentlemen, Beenleigh Arena, are you ready? The time is here. The time is now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it on! Firstly, to my left in the blue corner, representing Team New Zealand, trained by Jason Suddy at the Elite Thai Kickboxing Gymnasium in New Zealand. He weighed in the weight at 114 kilograms. He hails from Auckland in New Zealand. 4 fights, 3 wins. Ladies and gentlemen, he is The Rock, Big Paulie.
and Big Paulie he is, mate. A massive unit.
And now to my right, in the red corner, representing Team Australia, trained by Nugget at Nugget's Thai Gym. Last night of the weigh-in, he came in at 107 kilograms. He hails from Brisbane, wearing white shorts, red trim, fight record, 13 fights, 7 wins, 7 by way of knockout. Beenleigh Arena, make him feel welcome, Cedric NTG.
Johnny, a man who knows how to win and knows how to win by knockout.
Both fighters to censoring.
Cedric NTG Kongaika.
Affectionately known as the Bomber from Tonga.
Okay, boys, you're both professionals, you've both been here before. All I want is a good, clean fight and obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves, come out fighting.
Here we go,
Big
Beenleigh
Paulie's
Arena.
only had 4
The
fights
main
for 3
event.
wins. I think we saw him in Melbourne recently on a show where he was in an 8-man
Well,
eliminator.
touch gloves. This is the main event. Round 1.
But I tell you what, if he's trained by Jason the Psycho Suddy, anything can go on here, mate. He's obviously got a lot of faith in his boy to put him in against Cedric, because everyone knows what Cedric's capable of. Look at the size of him. Mountain of a man. 5 3-minute rounds, full tie rules, brought to you by Hogstar, and a big thank you to Hogstar for sponsoring this main event.
Yeah, this weight division, we know the power that these fighters possess in just about every technique, whether it be both punches and kicks, as Big Paulie just starts to unload on Cedric over in the neutral corner. Work by Cedric to get out of there quick smart as now they tie up in the grapple.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of technique there from Big Paulie, but he had a message in those gloves, and he was trying to post it home through the top of Cedric's skull there, just big overhand rights.
And we know the power that Cedric NTG possesses in his punches as well, so I'd be surprised if this fight went the distance, Johnny.
Mate, there's knockout power in both of these boys. As I said, Cedric 7 wins, all by way of knockout. So, he doesn't know how to go to the points decision. So Big Paulie, only the 4 fights behind him, but tell you what, mate, these boys with the Polynesian background, they're just tough as they come. And they always have a lot of respect for each other. Big Paulie supporting the mullet all the way from New Zealand. Good handiwork there from both boys, but a good sharp left there from Big Paulie.
So far, Paulie just relying on his hands, as we see Cedric NTG just trying to pepper away at that lead leg of Big Paulie's. And perhaps that's not a bad tactic by Cedric to just try and take out either the lead or supporting leg.
Having said that, mate, that's a lot of lead leg to take out.
Yeah, but we know the power that Cedric possesses, whether it be in his punches or his kicks, as we see the flexibility of Big Paulie just getting that left roundhouse kick up nice and high, trying to take Cedric's head off.
Just trying to break the boys. Tell you what, Murph, you want to stand clear when you're calling out break with these boys.
Well, you wouldn't want them to clinch for too long, because the Murph want to be very careful as they now just start to unload huge bombs from both fighters.
Big Paulie just not showing any emotion or any facial expression there in centering, apart from wanting to knock off Cedric's head. Well, Cedric just having a bit of a glance out of his corner. Big overhand right from Cedric.
But Big Paulie hardly flinched. He just wore good, straight, clean shot from Cedric. He didn't blink.
Spinning back fist there from Big Paulie. Just caught Cedric on the gloves.
Yeah, good work by Paulie. He followed up the spinning back fist, which missed the mark with a couple of punch combo.
What a big first round there.
Fighters seconds out.
Round 2, both boys just come back into centering. I reckon Cedric's probably walking back and centre nugget. This guy, I can't take this guy out at the moment. He's just tough.
Round 2.
I said we know the devastating power that Cedric's got in his hands. The bomber from Tonga, but mate, this is he's just planted one right on the jaw of Big Paulie there and didn't even flinch.
Yeah, this main event proudly brought to you by Hogstar.
Once again, Paul Demacoli and Prophecy Promotions has done a great job here at the Beenleigh Arena, and tomorrow he's got the next generation on as well, so full credit to Paul, just really stretching out to the sport, really helping the young fellas come through and develop themselves, gives them a great opportunity to fight in a big arena in a full-size ring.
Yeah, well, Cedric definitely knows he's got a fight on his hands, because I think he's looking over towards the corner at Nugget, and particularly in between his rounds, saying that Big Paulie, what have I got to do?
Well, it's interesting too, and Cedric's realising that the power's not really rocking Big Paulie, so what he's doing, he's dropping his combinations, then he's getting out of there.
Big overhand right once again from Big Paulie.
I'll tell you what, if either of these boys connect with flush with some of those big right hands, I'll tell you what, any lesser of a man would go down, but these two guys just stand there just absolutely trading with each other. And you can hear the corners just screaming out, elbow, elbow.
Nice work by Paulie there. Oh, huge right hand just taken on the chin by Cedric NTG.
I think sometimes, when Big Paulie's got Cedric back up against the ropes, he maybe just needs to just pause for just that second and it's full tie rules. Unload with an elbow when he's in that close. Good evasive work there from Cedric.
Lucky for Cedric, just working his way underneath that punch.
Bit of a low one. Yeah, a bit of a low kick there, but Murph didn't seem too phased about it. Both boys sort of stopped and backed off a little bit, but Murph didn't seem too phased about it. He's just emotionless there in centre ring, Johnny.
Attempted roundhouse back fist combo there. Both techniques missing the markers. Now Cedric starts to unload. But Paulie just fights back. Uppercuts, straight rights, big looping right hand.
So Paulie's got the power. If he can get if Jason Samy can work on his technique and get him really loading those punches up in a straight line.
Yeah, and I think Big Paulie heard you, Johnny, as he attempts a couple of downward elbows there. Neither of them really connecting flushly.
Cedric is pushing him away. He's so what do I have to do to keep this guy off me?
Yeah, good work by Cedric to get out of the way, but Paulie's just straight back onto him.
Just breaking him up. It's almost like some of these shots towards the end of the rounds.
That's the end of round number 2. The heavyweights in centering. Full Muay Thai. It's your prophecy main event.
Cedric just sort of casually walking back into his corner and walking out of his corner again. And sort of the Murph's just
round
back.
3.
The Murph would love this, mate. Being a heavyweight himself or cruiserweight back in his days, he'd be loving this.
Oh, a good left jab there by
just share with the first couple of rows with the water that's been poured over Cedric.
Flicking the sweat and the water onto us in the commentary position. Thanks for the shower, Cedric.
And look, as you said, Johnny, Cedric's been would want to chop away those tree trunks that Big Paulie calls legs. But we know the power that he's got behind him, and Big Paulie hasn't been checking them.
And I think Cedric would want to reassess his game plan and perhaps start to chop down the tall timber that is Big Paulie that's in front of him at the moment. Really try and work away at that lead leg. Paulie really hasn't checked any of those kicks so far.
I'm not sure whether it's in his repertoire, mate, learning how to check. You see Murph just very casually just saying to the boys back in centering. I'll tell you what, just sitting back in amazement at the power of these guys.
It just amazes me that both these fighters are still standing in centre ring. We've had some huge shots being thrown by both fighters. Attempted step up knee there by Big Paulie. Cedric just ties him up.
You can hear Murph through the effects microphone just saying to the boys, come on, big bombs.
Huge left hook by Cedric. He would have. Oh, if that had connected, Johnny.
I'll tell you what, Paris and his crewmate, they've got their work cut out from tonight, mate. Their camera lenses there on centre ring and our official photographers as well will be getting absolutely covered in sweat. Big Paulie and Cedric just unloading there in the neutral corner.
Oh,
big downward elbow.
Oh, that one connecting sweetly, but Cedric, he's worn some huge shots.
Mate, they're not sharp, those elbows, but they're coming down from a long way with a lot behind them.
And that's a good tactic by Paulie. He's got the height advantage, so it's good to see at least he's employing it and trying to make the most. And knock Cedric out, which is really what he's trying to do. Just pulling back there on that left roundhouse kick. Good flexibility from Big Paulie also. Seen him get that kick up nice and high as he loads bombs. I've never seen Cedric take so much punishment, Johnny. We've commentated many of his fights, but Big Paulie just going to town on him.
And you can hear the Murph in the latter stages of this round. He's been
That's
fairly
end of round
quiet in the
number
first couple of
3.
rounds. In the latter stages of that round, Murph's been really eating the boys on. He's loving this in centre ring. He loves watching the big heavyweights banging it out.
Round 4.
Okay, the penultimate round, proudly brought to you by Hogstar.
Big Paulie just controlling centre ring. I tell you what, Cedric's doing more miles in centre ring tonight than he's done in a long, long time. Big Paulie just stalking him, trying to cut off his angles. I tell you what, Big Paulie with a few more fights under his belt, mate, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Oceania heavyweight divisions because he's tough. He's taken absolutely everything Cedric's thrown at him and just not flinching.
Yeah, nice left jab there, just rocking the head back of Cedric.
And look, really at the moment, Cedric's just walking backwards, just looking for an opening, but really there aren't a lot there.
Yeah, no, nice combination there. Left body rip, low kick, and really he wants to work away, perhaps at the legs of Big Paulie, because Cedric must be wondering, what have I got to do? I can't seem to hurt Big Paulie.
It's almost like it's in slow motion, a lot of these breaks in between boys, but I tell you what, something unloads, John, and it'll be a short end of the fight. Murph's in there now, 4th and 5th round, he's going to start egging the boys on. Really, Cedric's looking a little bit, I wouldn't say confused or dazed, but he's just wondering what does he have to do to get through to Big Paulie.
I'd say that Cedric is looking a little bit fatigued as well here in the 4th round, Johnny. Just he's dropping his hands very low there in between exchanges, as we see Big Paulie, you know, keeping his hands up nice and high, continually walking forward.
But so what Big Paulie's got to do, and there you can hear Murph just egging the boys on there. As Cedric's walking around backwards, Big Paulie needs to be cutting the ring off, not just following him around the same angle. He needs to be cutting off his angles. Oh, slapping the leg kick there from Cedric NTG. Oh, the spinning back fist, Johnny, but if that had have connected, someone in the back rows would have been looking to catch Cedric NTG's noggin as it would have flown off from that one, the power behind
Pretty sure we would have collected another spray of sweat from Cedric, but luckily for Cedric that technique missed the mark.
I'll tell you what, the first couple of rounds, mate, the Murph was fairly nonplussed and just sort of standing back. Now he's really egging these big heavyweights on. Hearing through the effects microphone, hands up.
Yeah, Cedric continues to drop his hands, but Big Paulie really not taking advantage, Johnny. I'd expect him to be straight into him. Yeah, doubling up on the left kicks there, and now unloading a couple of techniques, and then Paulie stepped back. He's letting Cedric off the hook.
I'm having as much fun watching Big Murphy in centre ring at the moment, mate. He's really starting to enjoy this.
Yeah.
And he's saying to the boys, big, you know, come on. They're probably going, hang on a second, we're both buggered here in centre ring, and you're telling us to go harder at it. Gotta love the Murphy. He's the best referee in the country without doubt. So the 5th and final round, John, the Hogstar sponsored main event.
This is the 5th and final round.
What a way to finish Prophecy Promotions and Paul Dimacoli's Eruption 7 at the Beenleigh Arena here in Queensland, John.
I don't think any of us would have predicted this fight to go to the distance, but here we are in the 5th and final, and it's been action-packed entertainment from both fighters.
So I would expect the Murph to step it up as well in this 5th and final round as well. He loves bringing fighters home in the 5th and final round. He loves a war.
Oh, nice body rip kick combo from Cedric, but once again, Big Paulie not even flinching.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether you can hear the Murph through the effects microphone. He's saying, last round, come on, who wants it, who wants it? And that, mate, that's great refereeing as well, egging the boys on and letting them know they've got full support in there.
Yeah, look, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's really not showing any bias whatsoever, really encouraging both fighters and really to put on a show for everybody that's at ringside. Great work by the Murph.
Big Paulie, that big looping right again.
I'm of the opinion, Johnny, that I think if you hit Big Paulie in the shins with a baseball bat that he would not flinch, because Cedric has just unloaded the strongest kicks that he can, and Big Paulie continues to walk forward. He will not even show the slightest signs of buckling.
Have a look at the Murph in there in centering.
Once again, Cedric's got those hands dangerously low, and Big Paulie just letting him off the hook once again.
Cedric's probably thinking of the Murph, well, you bugger off, will you? This guy's just stalking me around the ring and you're telling him to keep coming at me.
As we see the Murph motioning the both fighters, come on, get it on. But obviously, tiredness and fatigue setting in.
But again, Big Paulie's got to learn from this, and Jason wants to take him back and show him this, when it comes out on TV and on DVD. Show Paulie how to cut off the angles. All he's doing is following
Only 50
Cedric
seconds
around.
remaining in super heavyweight
He's going to be a lot
fight.
more
Come on,
effective
let's bring
if he can
this
cut off
fight
the
home,
angles there in
Beenleigh
centre.
Arena.
He'll learn from this. It's only his fifth fight. And he's taken on one of Australia's premier heavyweights. Did you see the Murph that is saying to the boys, dig deep, dig deep?
Yeah, I think Cedric has spent all his pennies at this stage, Johnny. He just looks like he's waiting for the bell to sound as Big Paulie continues to unload. But there he is, the bomber from Tonga. Let's go with a couple and makes a complete liar out of me.
Murph is trying to separate him and really struggling to lift Big Paulie off the ropes.
Somebody lend the Murph a pinch bar to separate the two of them, because he's having trouble getting them apart. Oh, this is great to watch. Big Paulie continuing to let go, left and right bombs.
And look at the Murph. Murph having a big laugh there in the corner. As both boys are just, as you said, Johnny, they are absolutely spent there in centering. Big Murph just having a big laugh at
Your
both
winner
boys.
by unanimous points, blue corner, the Rock.
And there you go, Johnny. Big Paulie takes out the main event. That's 2-2 New Zealand versus Australia. Paul Demicoli, Prophecy Promotions here at Eruption 7. We need to see Australia New Zealand
Let's
again
give it
on
up for
Eruption
Cedric
8 or Eruption 9.
Centering. We'll have a great fight, 5 rounds. That makes it 2-2.
And a big thanks from me, John Fergus.
And from me, John Cavassini.
Thank you for watching Fight
Cedric.
Sports, Paris Productions on Foxtel Aurora.
Hard fight, 5-rounder with a big boy in Big Paulie. Some big blows traded. He came home with like a steam train in the last round. Good effort, mate. You just didn't get the chockies today, mate.
Well, thank you, Big Paulie and Jason Samy. Give him down and give it a go. Best man on 9-1. What can you say?
Very true words. Good effort there, mate. But Baylon to the corner. Now, if I can just grab Big Paulie. And before I do that, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Cedric NTG. Put up a big effort here in centering. I'm sure we'll see him back very, very shortly. Some big blows were landed. In the last round, he came back hard with some big punishing leg kicks, but you weathered the storm and you walked out a unanimous winner.
He wants me to talk for him. This guy here, he's had 5 fights. He's been training about a year. I show him something today. Tomorrow he's mastered it. We're coming, he's coming.
Some big words there from his trainer, Jason Studdy.
He wants to say thank you to the promoter for bringing him here, and they've looked after us awesome, and Tony at the restaurant. That's what he said.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Big Paulie. Ladies and gentlemen, Square to Leisure at 2-2. What a great night we'd have here at Beenleigh Arena. Thank you all very, very much for making the way down. Big, better things are coming for Eruption in the future. Thank you. My name is John Demicoli, and it was great to be your MC this evening. We cannot wait for the next time we see you again.